Hi everyone, good afternoon, or moving into the afternoon in 10 minutes. It'll be 12 o'clock. As you see on the screen, what you will need is 2 pillows. So as you go along throughout these practices, you'll get to know, in yoga we actually have a lot of props. We have bolsters and blocks and straps, and those are all great tools to have at home. But if you don't have those, we have a lot of things in our house that we can use in, what's the word? Instead of. So make sure you've got your pillows together. And yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Whoever was in the practice last night, I hope that you enjoyed the class. We did quite a bit of stretching last night as well, and we'll continue with that in the practice today. So these classes, it's the word stretching is quite a interesting word to use because stretching kind of makes me feel like, oh, we're going to stretch into something where we don't want to overstretch. So make sure that you're not overstretching in these classes, please, 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 please. And like I said last night, make sure that when you're stretching, it is not coming from the joint. So for instance, if we do stretches around, say the bicep, you wouldn't want to feel it in and around the elbow joint. You wouldn't want to feel any pain around the shoulder or underneath in the armpits. Same with the calf muscle or the hamstrings or the quads. You really want to feel it in the belly of the muscle, so almost like the thick of the muscle. And then, yeah, deep breaths, deep breaths. And then, yeah, guys, group taught or directed classes are obviously not geared to individuals. And each of us have our individual body. We have our individual aches and pains, injuries, all those kinds of things. So please make sure to look after yourselves. And yay, can we do some stretching? Hi, Leslie. Welcome. Yeah, so just take it easy. What I'm teaching, I'm trying to give as many options as possible. But even if I give 3 options in a pose, it might still not be suitable for your body. Apologize for that. But yeah, it is these group classes. So you're always welcome. I got a few questions from class last night. It was a lot of flexion in the knees with these child's pose. So, that won't always be the amount of work we do in one class. Next week, we'll change it up. So next week's classes might be more suitable for your body. And you'll just have to see how you go, but great feedback on how people are modifying, using your pillows, supporting yourself, not moving through pain, but rather kind of reaching your edge, so taking it to 90% instead of kind of pushing through something or overstretching. Welcome. Hi, Sharon. Welcome everyone. Hi, Angie. Hi, Sherry. Oh, Angie, I'm very well today. Thank you. I actually just picked up a coffee. It was made by one of the local little kind of deli stores here in Hermanus, and it's so nice to have a coffee made for myself. I was like, I'm going to pay someone to make me a coffee today, and I win and they win, supporting small business and supporting my caffeine addiction. So I'm very well, thank you. How are you? Hi, Carla. Welcome everyone to our new Jeff top-up session. So 3 opportunities to practice live with me every week. Tuesdays and Thursdays are our beginner practices, and that's at 5:30. That's a 45-minute class. It's all-round practice. It's a bit of stretch. It's a bit of strengthening, some mobility, a bit of recovery, those kinds of things. Whereas these sessions, we're going to hold a little longer. You might stretch a little deeper, and it's only a half an hour class. And he says, my back. Ooh, I'm getting a lot of backs in the feedback. So yeah, see how you go. Forward folds and those kinds of things should feel pretty nice. But we also want to open up through the upper back. So this rounding, especially, I was doing some of the boxing the other day and kind of moving in these rounding positions. You also then want to open up and drop the shoulders down, broaden here, because when our chests become tight, all the muscles kind of, squeeze in. So you can imagine our lungs get a little sort of squeezed and our hearts close in. Whereas this is really an area that we want to be opening at the moment on all levels. Hi, Aiden. Coffee is king. Coffee is queen. Welcome, Aiden. From Hermanus. My parents live in Machel, Hermanus. Yay. Hermanus is so beautiful. I went to the beach yesterday and I think I could have sat there forever and just looked at the ocean. Hi, Kirsten. Tish and Gary. Liesel. And Mariette. Cool. Yeah, you need 2 pillows. And then Liesel, sciatica nerve pain. Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that a lot of us kind of end up with. So just modify your practice as you go. It's very specific body to body, kind of how you would try and work that out of the system. But a lot of the times it's sitting for long amounts of time. A lot of the high intensity work can cause the muscles to be quite tight in certain areas. And then you might get a bit of a squeeze on a nerve. So really like getting your joints moving, especially around the hips, easy, gentle movements, some gentle massage, and then, like we say, the stretching on these Wednesdays, but gently and breath. Guys, I cannot say it enough. Deep, full breaths, because when you breathe in, remember, we breathe on a macro level, which is air in to the lungs, out the lungs. But then on a micro level, the air moves in and then the oxygen is taken to the cells breathe, and then everything comes out, right? So we want to take that breath all the way down to every area and every corner of our body as much as we can. I'll get back to you, Lizelle, specifically with maybe a few things that you can work on. So maybe just pop me a comment after the class again. Let me know how the stretches felt in your body. Maybe there's 1 or 2 things that felt quite nice or gave you a bit of relief. And if not, then I'm happy to chat to you and we can see what we can work out. Cool. So we've got about a minute before we start. It's only going to be around 30 minutes, which is not a lot of time, guys. So I'd like you to stay really present in your body and take full advantage of this. If you've put this time aside, put this time aside. So run your Wi-Fi, but put your phone on airplane mode if you can. Light some candles if you like. We've got some background music playing that's really nice and relaxing. So make this time, really your time to slow down, to come more into that quiet part of yourself. The high intensity is all about getting our energy going and our blood flowing and, really getting ourselves into, what we'd say more about our yang energy, our hot energy. Whereas especially the stretch class is a lot more about cooling down, slowing down, moving inwards, and moving more from an internal space, which is, the balance, the yin and the yang. Welcome, everyone. Hi, Jackie from Dubai. Hi, Catherine, Nikki. Good. I'm also looking forward to a good stretch, guys. I'm also nice and stiff after class this week. So yeah, I think let's get started. So for those of you who weren't here earlier, hi Siri. Those of you who weren't here earlier on, you need 2 pillows for today, just so we make sure to give ourselves as much support as possible. Okay, so like I say, I'd like to give you as many variations as I can, but even so, all our bodies are so uniquely different that, sometimes it's really, the pose might not feel good in your body. Okay, so I don't want you to feel like, oh, I can't do this pose. Why can't I do this pose? Maybe it's just because you can't really see on the screen what I'm doing. You can always ask me about a specific pose, or maybe your body's just really not feeling that shape today. Okay, so don't ever feel like you're supposed to look like anything or suppose you're supposed to feel like anything. It is what it is in your body as an individual. So you can see I've got two pillows. They're different shapes. Doesn't really matter. As long as you have two, and like I said a little earlier on when we started now, as you go along in your yoga practice, you're going to realize, hopefully you're paying attention, and you're going to realize what the shapes in your body are that need more support. All right, so we're going to start seated, and we're going to be sitting here for a little while. So I would suggest sitting on a cushion, or maybe even two, sitting with crossed legs. So sometimes when our hips are tight, the knees are going to kind of draw up. If I allow my hips to rise and I lift my hips a little higher than my knees, then that can allow the hips to settle and relax a little bit. Let's rest our hands on our thighs. Close your eyes for a moment. Sit nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out through the mouth. And a deep breath in. Deep sigh out through the mouth. Bring yourself completely present. And for those who were in practice last night, we set an intention for our week and for our month. Something deeply personal, something that an intention that you're setting for yourself for the month of June. So if you were in class last night, bring that intention back into your awareness. If you're joining us for the first time this week, then just take 3 breaths and find an intention that you can set for yourself. So it's not it's a bit different to the goals we're setting in our high intensity. It's more of a deeply personal and caring intention. So for instance, my intention for myself is to make sure that I'm making time, alone time. So making some alone time for myself. That's my intention for this month. Deepen your breath. And then if you're comfortable and you can follow the sound of my voice. Otherwise, you could open your eyes to watch. We'll move through some neck rolls. So allowing your chin down to your chest. Soften your left ear to your left shoulder. I'm mirroring you. And then just roll your chin up to the ceiling. And back down to the chest. Pause. And take it to the other side. Right ear to right shoulder. And open the throat. And chin back down. So nice. Do 2 more to each side. So let's go left. Take a full breath in. Exhale, chin to chest. And to your right. Keep sitting nice and tall. Make sure you're not slouching. Beautiful. 1 more to each side. And if the mind starts to kind of become busy, don't worry about that. So let the thoughts run. Don't attach to anything. Pause. Draw the crown of the head up. So we're not attaching to our thoughts. We let them run. We focus on using our exhales to let them run out of our bodies, to let ourselves become quieter and quieter and quieter as the practice goes along. Okay. Continuing in and around the neck, reach both arms up, take a full stretch. And then keep both sit bones nice and grounded, but bring your left hand to the floor. Okay, you could stay on your fingertips if that's what helps you to keep your sit bone grounded, or you could come down onto the hands. Allow your ear to soften down. Okay, then we're going to move this top arm in big circles. Watch your bottom shoulder that you're not pointing up to your ear. Draw it down away from your ear so you could take a bend in that elbow. Top arm up, neck releases. And then bring that arm up, forward, and down. Take the arm way back behind you. Draw it up, and forward and down. Big, slow circles. One more like that. Stretch through your arm. Get as long as you can with that arm. And then bring it down. Pause here. And then just draw that arm away from you, allowing your ear to soften down. And just feel a softening through the head. Maybe the chin even down to the floor. The pose doesn't have to be static. You could move a little bit with the neck and just feel the release in the top side of the neck and the shoulder. Beautiful. Looking forward, we're going to keep our ear heavy, but almost like a pendulum, bring the torso back up, and once you come up to sit, bring both shoulders level, crown of the head up. So nice. Full breath in, arms up, reach tall. Other side, fingertips down to the floor, maybe palm if you did on the other side. Little bend in this elbow, so this shoulder, I'm not kind of, resting on the shoulder. There's space here. Top arm moves up. And then I start to drag it forward, forward, forward as far as I can go. And then soften it down. Head is completely heavy. I travel this arm way back behind me, and then I bring it back up. Don't hold your breath. Don't clench your jaw. Allow that arm down, round, and back. And then last one here, really lift up, draw lower belly in, and then full stretch. Press into that hand that's on the floor. Get a further stretch into the rib cage. And then take that arm back. Take it all the way back behind you, so it's a little lower than shoulder level. Make sure your head is heavy, and then just feel a stretch in the top side of the neck and the shoulder. Watch that you're not locking out in that bottom elbow. It's really soft. It's got a little bit of, think of your joints always having a bit of suspension in them, right? Beautiful. Keep your head down to the side as you pendulum back up. Find symmetry. Sit tall. And then simply switch the cross of the legs. Again, coming to sit all the way up. Let's draw both arms up. Full breath in, and we'll take a twist. So bringing let's go right hand. I'll do the same as you. Bring your right hand behind you. Left hand across, sit tall, and then twist to look towards your back shoulder. Let's activate the feet a little now. So spread through your toes and get a flex in your ankles. Draw your lower belly in. Nice. Keep your front hand where it is. Look forward. So you're keeping this hand here. Bring your back hand all the way around. Cross it over your knees, rock a little back on your sit bones, and then tuck your chin and just round. So I'm kind of rocking back. My knees come a little closer to one another, and I'm just stretching through my upper back and my shoulders. It should feel quite nice. Completely relax your head. Okay, ground your sit bones. Bring your gaze up, release your hands, draw them up, full breath in. And then take a twist to the other side. So that hand behind you is pressing down to prop you up. So you're not kind of lying on the beach here. My pelvis is grounded down so that the twist comes from the navel, My right shoulder blade and rib cage is wrapping forward. I'm looking over my back shoulder, taking the twist gently in my neck. And bring the gaze forward. Again, front hand stays where it is. Bring the back arm around. Hold onto your knees. They might squeeze a little more towards one another. Lean back. And once again, stretch out through the back of the shoulders, the shoulder blades. Tuck your chin in a little more. Take one more breath. Nice. Ground the sit bones, release. And then just one more time here, reach the arms all the way up just to take a full stretch. Bring your hands forward, rock over your knees. I'll just switch my direction. You can place your cushions to the side. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Beautiful. Okay, you're going to bring your knees a little closer together. You'll remember this from last night if you were in class. We always spread through the palms, all 10 fingerprints pressing down. My hands are shoulder distance apart. And then I'm not kind of letting my belly fall down. Belly's drawing in, but I'm also not tucking my tailbone. So neutral spine. Stretch your left foot back. Tuck your toes under. And then start to press into your hands, sending the heel past the line of the ball of the foot. Stretch into your calf muscle. My heel is directly up to the ceiling, so you can have a look back. I'm not kind of buckling or opening this front hip. My pelvis is level, and I'm pressing back, getting a nice stretch through that calf muscle. Squeeze your left thigh. Deep, full breaths. And switch. Again, these poses don't have to be completely static. So if you move into this and you go, whew, that feels so nice, but I need just a little release, or I just need to wiggle a little bit to get back into the shape. Remember, it's your body. You know what's best by feeling what's best or feeling what doesn't feel good. So with yoga, we really encourage the trusting of your intuition and your connection, your communication with your body to know what is appropriate for it on the day. Take one more breath here. Nice. And then bring that leg back. Then we're going to take a nice bent knee downward dog. So from your tabletop position, bring your knees hip distance apart, tuck your toes under. Reach your hands forward about another hand's length from where it was now. I like to take my hands just a little bit wider, pressing through my spread hands. I'm going to press into my hands, raise my knees, send my hips up and back, and allow my belly to move down to my thighs. I'm rolling my outer shoulders down and letting my heart sink down. At the same time, draw your rib cage slightly in, draw your belly in. And then you'll start to pedal out your legs. So maybe your heels don't touch the ground, but just start to pedal out the legs. Oh, such a nice opening this. You can add a little kind of movement in and around the hips. So the movement becomes very fluid, not holding tension in the face or the neck. Nice. Make sure you've done equal amounts to each side. Bring yourself to the center, take your feet back a little more. And then rock into the balls of your feet coming to a high plank. We'll move into what we call a hanging cobra. So allow your heels to move back, your hips to lower, micro bend your elbows and lift up through the chest. If it feels a little strong, ground your knees, curl your ears back, deep full breaths. Lift your knees, move back into your high plank, and move up and back, downward dog, full stretch. 2 more like that. Rock forward, keep your chin tucked until your hips have lowered. Like a snake-like movement, you unravel. Come back into your high plank. And up and back, downward dog. This is why it's important to spread your hands, otherwise your wrists are going to hurt. One more round. Press into your fingertips. And then stay here. Everyone lower your knees. Untuck your toes. Bring your pelvis down, belly down, chest down. Okay, keeping your legs hip distance apart. Slide your hands forward. Come into Sphinx pose. Palms are spread. I'm not crunching in. So I always like to say, you want to be like a little turtle peeking out of its shell. So my neck is kind of drawing up and out. My shoulders are drawing down. And I'm not kind of hiding in my shoulders. I'm really taking up the space with my upper body. Let's bring our right hand across to the left like a diagonal. So my right elbow stays under my right shoulder, but my right hand comes across. Squeeze your left heel towards your left buttocks. You can lift up a little bit so that you feel your pelvic bone move down and press into the floor. So adjust yourself as you must. Raise your left hand up, bring it to the inside of this left foot. That might be strong enough for you. Then you can just take your head forward. Otherwise, you'll really start to press that left heel down. And you'll start to bring that left heel as close to your buttocks as possible. So if there are any yogis in the class today, you'd like to take the full grip, taking the fingertips forward and squeezing the heel down to the outer hip, you're welcome to go there. Again, just looking after your bodies. Otherwise, you'll keep your elbow facing down. Maybe your hand just wraps around that outer ankle and you just pull that heel a little closer. Top of right foot is pressing into the mat. Take 2 more breaths. You're not collapsing into your right shoulder. Press down into the right elbow. Beautiful. And slowly release. Come back through to center. Take a little wiggle. I really like to kind of move everything so I can really feel my body grounded again. Let's pause here for a moment. Just acknowledging the left side and the right side and how different that perhaps feels in your body now. And then we'll take it to the right. So my left hand, remember, comes across. My left elbow stays pretty much under my left shoulder, maybe a little forward. And then I bring my right heel to my buttocks. I bring my right hand around. Maybe that's where I stay. But you can ground that right hip, take your gaze forward. Again, maybe for the yogis, it's pulling the heel closer. You're swiveling the fingers, elbow up, and squeezing that heel to the outside of your buttocks. Otherwise, hand can just stay on that foot. Lift up through the elbow. See how I started collapsing now? Bring your awareness to all the corners of the body. Take 2 more breaths. Full deep breaths. Don't cheat. It's all about the breath. Beautiful. Slowly release. Don't let it slingshot back. Back through to center. Again, take a little wiggle. Bring yourself down. Let's meet in tabletop. And from your tabletop, just take a nice little cow stretch, lifting the sit bones, opening the throat, curling ears back. And rounding into your cat. So super slow now. You might feel a little tight in your lower back. Tuck your chin and round. Nice. And then back to neutral. Okay, we're going to move into a lunge. So bring your knees a little closer. You might sit back or even come onto your fingertips to bring your right foot through. So again, if you're feeling your knee is sensitive, you'll lift that knee and just simply place a cushion underneath it. Make sure that your hips are level, facing forward. Your front knee is stacked above its front ankle. And then we'll move that kind of that same stretch when we're lying on our bellies now, but it might be a little more intense. So let's shift this front foot forward a little bit so that you're not on the top of your knee, but you're rather on the front side of the knee or the top side of the knee. Activate your left hamstring, start to curl that heel to your buttock, and then you'll reach your hand back. Okay, turning shoulder forward, and then just see how this goes for you. So it's going to be quite strong this. We're going to hold for 3 breaths. Sink yourself a little lower if you can. Watch for that left knee. If it feels sensitive at all, press firmly into this front foot. Don't dump into that left knee. Nice. Release. Bring your hands forward. Raise that back knee up. And then walk yourself to face on the long side of your mat or your towel. Both toes turning forward, heels back. Nice activation in the front of the legs. Your cushion can just stay here. We're going to move to the other side. And then just allow yourself to take a forward fold. Really nice shape this. Lift it straight through the toes. Draw your thigh muscles up. And then notice you don't want to hang into your hamstrings. So bring the weight to the front of the heels, the balls of the feet. Let's come out of it. Take a lift. And then you're going to walk to your opposite side. So even if you're facing away from the camera now, that's fine. You've just done the shape on the other side. So stay kind of there. Just follow my voice. Lower the opposite knee down. And then press yourself up for a moment. Find your balance. Find your alignment. Both your hips are facing forward. Nice and grounded. Pressing firmly into this left leg. Then I'm going to shift this foot a little forward so that I can roll into the top of my knee, front of my knee, and I'm going to draw that heel in. I'm going to squeeze my heel to my buttocks. Once you found your shape, it's going to be 3 full rounds of breath. So here, you could maybe take yourself a little deeper and then stay with the breath. Lower belly drawing in, you're supporting yourself, you're supporting the pelvis. And then we will release. Nice, hands down, raise your back knee up. And then again, walk yourself back to this wide-legged shape, toes turning forward, heels back, even a little pigeon-toed. Draw kneecaps up, thigh muscles up, and then take yourself to fold forward. Doesn't matter how far you go. If you got tight hamstrings like me, then you're going to feel this in the shape today. Nice. Let's take a halfway lift. We're going to take ourselves back to our lunge. Just do a little time check. And then lower that back knee down. Moving into a runner's lunge. Take your right foot a little out to the right. Bring your hands to the inside so the toes are turning out. You could stay here, or you could bring yourself all the way down onto your forearms. We'll just stay for 3 full breaths. Relax your head. And when your third exhale is done, press into your hands, lift up, and then bring yourself all the way through center. We won't pause now. We'll go straight over to the other side. Lower your knee. Take your left foot out to the side. Allow your hips to sink down. Again, if you stayed up on your hands on the other side, you'll stay up on your hands here. You could untuck the toes even. Or if you went down on the other side, you'll go down on this side. Completely relax your head.
Support yourself with your abdominals. And then we'll come out.
All right, so nice, guys. Lift your back knee up. Last one here. Take yourself all the way across to the other side. Lower your knee down. Take your left hand to the side, and just for a moment, take a twist as you open up that right side of the chest. Look up. Again, you could sink the pelvis deeper. And then reverse, bring everything back to center. So we'll move into like a little half splits variation. Untuck your back toe. Maybe shift your whole shin onto your cushion. Shift this front foot forward so you can bring your buttock to your heel. Reach your arms forward and fold down. 3 full breaths. Draw your right toes towards your face. You could even use your right hand to get more of a stretch on the bottom side of that foot. And prepare to come out. Bring yourself all the way back into your lunge. And prepare for the other side. Walking across, lowering that knee. Taking your right hand out to the side now and taking that twist, opening the left chest. Looking up, allow the head to be soft. Watch for locking out your right elbow. You can sink the pelvis down. And then look down, reverse everything. Bring that right shin onto your cushion. Sit yourself back. Extend your left heel forward. And then maybe you fold yourself all the way down. Or you could be looking forward. Maybe you're a little higher up. I like to use this hand. So I really like to massage my own body. I think that it's so important that we really get in tune with our body. And you can really use your own hands to release. So unfortunately, we can't go for massages at the moment. So it's up to ourselves or our partners to really just give our bodies a bit of TLC. You deserve it. So give your body a bit of love. Okay, let's release. Come back into a lunge. Raise your back knee. And then come back into your forward fold. So your wide-legged forward fold. Take a halfway lift. Allow yourself to melt down. Let's take a few last breaths in this inversion. Just letting all the blood move down through the head, the skin and the face, the glands, the sinuses, the eyes, the brain. Press into your hands. Take a halfway lift. And then you can kind of scoot your cushion back so that you heel toe your feet together. You're going to come forward onto your knees. And then you can either come to sit with your knees together, your feet wide, and the cushion in between the legs. So we call it Virasana. You're sitting here. If that feels too intense in any part of the legs, bring your legs all the way in. You could sit on your cushion, or like I showed the other night, cushion underneath the ankles. Whatever it is that feels comfortable, you could stack 2 pillows. Let's bring our hands onto our thighs. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Again, a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And bring your intention that you've set into your awareness. May you carry that with you throughout the day. And closing off your practice, thank yourself. Show gratitude to your body. Or show gratitude to the practice of yoga. Thank you everyone for joining today. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Hope that felt as good in your bodies as it did in mine. I could go on like that for hours. So if you do end up doing this class at home, then you could do it on repeat and maybe do an hour cycle. I would highly suggest that. So just like double up the video. The longer we give our bodies, the longer time we give our bodies to open up, obviously the more it will do so. I kind of find that like when I'm running, which is not very often, or as often as I should be, but when I'm running, it's like that first part that's really, really hard, and then you kind of, level out through the middle of your run, and by the end of your run, it feels like I could run forever, and that's almost the same as these practices is, maybe the beginning, it's really hard, your mind is fighting you, the ego is fighting you, everything's kind of like, I don't want to be in these positions, whatever it is for you, I've got distractions and so on. But the more you stay in it, the longer you practice, the deeper you go, and really the more beautiful the practice becomes. When we're on trainings, we often do 6-hour long practices, maybe with like a tiny little break in between. But really that's where I found that the magic really happens in practice. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining. Let me know if you have any questions now past the class. I see oh, I'm so stiff. I'm not very supple. We don't stretch enough. That was great. Much needed stretch. Very tight, my word. Yeah, I mean, I often say, people say, oh, I can't do yoga because I can't touch my toes. That is why you do yoga, guys. None of us are getting any younger. Our bodies aren't getting younger. Things like cellular regeneration and the strength of neural pathways, brain-muscle connection, that is all going to start to fade away. So the time really is now, and we need to be working on our bodies now. We need to be getting them supple and flexible. It's not about tight, funny. It's not about doing the splits. It's about making our bodies strong and flexible so that we can try and live a pain-free life. I know a lot of people who have chronic pain. I have a lot of students who have chronic pain. I don't know if any of you have ever had chronic pain. I sit with a very interesting spasm in my neck injury that I get almost twice a year, where I have to be taken to hospital and get an injection, and it's awful. But living with chronic pain is a real thing for a lot of people. So firstly, acknowledging the privilege it is if you don't have chronic pain. And secondly, it's the work you're doing for your body now that's going to prevent that later on in your life. As a parent or as a grandparent, you don't want to struggle, playing with your kids or your grandchildren, something like that. You don't want to have to struggle to bend down and pick something off the floor or reach up to grab something. It's really about quality of life more than trying to achieve a specific pose in yoga, and that's what it means to me. So that's kind of the kind of work that we're going to be working around. I see a lot of knee joints, guys. I think that's something that we will definitely have to address. Yeah, knees are a big thing, and knee injuries are very scary because often when they happen, it's irreversible, or you will need surgery, for that. But yeah, looking after knees, I'll keep bringing in, tips and tricks as we go along. Let me see if I can chat for another minute or two. I'll chat for another minute. For instance, I hope you're listening if you spoke about knees. I'll show you here quickly. So for me, I've got a funny left knee. You'll see I use my cushion quite a lot in the practice. What you can do is you can actually take your socks, 1 or 2, and roll it up like you would to pack it away. And this sock you'll actually use that whenever you're in a flex position, you'll take your sock and you can pop it in behind your knee. So that might feel a bit tight or uncomfortable. Then you'll take it out, make sure that you make it a little flatter, pop it back in behind the knee, and it just gives a bit of space to the knee joint. So that really works very well for me when I'm in any flex knee position. If you've got a yoga strap at home, you could flip and fold your yoga strap 2 or 3 times, and again, you'll just place that behind the knee or the knees when you're feeling pain in the flex positions. When we're down to putting pressure on the knee joints, when we're kneeling or doing any kind of practice where we're on the knee joint, then maybe that's just something you might need to avoid. But you'll get to know the practice and your own body as we go along, especially if this is completely new to you. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off for the day. Thank you for joining for the first top-up session. I'll be here every Wednesday. We'll do quite a bit of deep stretching. But otherwise, you can rewatch this video later on. It will be on the page. And thanks for joining. And I will see you all tomorrow, Thursday, 5:30, beginner session, 45 minutes. Have a beautiful day. Thanks, everyone.